I do a little business tip while I'm up here. Now, what I mention is never normally new, but often it's a good reminder. So I try and get a sense of what's going on around in people's lives in business, and I also think about what the major speaker will be discussing, and then I try and complement that for you. So that's what this is all about for those of you who've never been here before, and just in case the members go, why does she do this? So that's why I do it. So you've heard of, define your ideal client before, yeah? Yeah, okay, so that's nothing new. I'm not going to get you to do that today. We've already done that at another meeting some other time. So if you don't know your ideal client today, make it up, okay? Because now we're going to talk about the ideal client journey, which is often called a sales funnel. But since being in this business and talking particularly to my mentoring clients about their sales funnel, I felt like we weren't really talking about a sales funnel. We were talking about the ideal journey you would like your clients to go through your business, not only for your benefit, but for their benefit and their growth. So I thought, why don't we call it the ideal client journey? Isn't that nicer than sales funnel? Because whenever I think sales funnel, I should have put a picture up. I always have this image of like little human beings being shoved in up the top and forced down to where you want them to go. But I don't think any of you here in this room want to force your clients to do anything. You want them to evolve and grow, fall in love with you because you're in love with what you do, and just keep knowing you and keep the journey going. Isn't that a much more beautiful, meaningful, long-term vision? Yeah? Who thinks it's like, that's nuts, it's never going to happen, Flirt, you're dreaming? Oh, good. So, if you don't know who your ideal client is, just make it up. I'll give you an example. For my, those of you who don't know me, Out of the Box Biz is my third business in 8 years. I am a little bit hyperactive, I think. But the second business was a business called Property with Purpose. And I'm just going to use that as an example because I had a very, very clearly defined ideal clients, because I'm just going to use that as an example for you. The ideal client for Property with Purpose was for university-educated professionals that wanted to fast track their success in property, both buying their own home and investment, but they just didn't feel like they were doing it well by themselves. And the reason why I define university educated is because when you go through a university education at a very young age, not always, but often a high value is lifelong learning. Property with Purpose was a mentoring business, which means it was fee for service. I provided education only. It was no commissions on any property transactions. So all I needed to do, if someone came in the room that had a high value of high quality education that was going to fast track them in an area of their world that they didn't feel they were an expert, then all I needed to do was deliver value that I could educate them in that area, and then they just became my client. It was a very elegant, I wouldn't say easy, but it was a much more elegant experience both for the client and myself. So they were generally university education, business professionals, normally with a home income, whether it be a single or a couple, of $150,000 or more. So I had a very clearly defined ideal client, and often the woman came to me first, and then her husband or partner joined us later down the ideal client journey. So for my ideal client journey for that business, I had people meeting me through all the lead generation, such as networking, LinkedIn, whatever it is. Then I would invite them to come to a seminar. It was like a 2-hour seminar. Then I'd offer them to come to a full-day workshop. And then if they wanted more, and the only reason why I went to this third level was by client demand, then they did one-on-one mentoring with me. So that was my ideal client journey for that business. So when you started at the beginning of the journey, or the funnel, whichever language you want to use for that business, it started in at a price point of $97. So a lot of people are going, well, you're not going to make a living out of that, Fleur, are you? but the actual value of every single client that went through that business ended up to be over $3,000 by the time they went through the seminar, the workshop, and their mentoring on whatever level they decided. So what you need to keep in the background, I believe, when you're thinking about your ideal client journey, is in the background, how much is that client worth to you through the lifetime of that journey? Does that make sense? Are there any questions at this point? So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about your ideal client and what you would like their ideal journey to be with the experience of you in your business. Now, the key here is not to overthink it. So just super simple stuff, because we're only spending just a few minutes on this. And this will just plant the seed. When you come back to your notes and you're in your office, you can spend more time on it and go into more detail. Any questions? I'll put some music on. It's just for a few minutes. This is working by yourself on your own business. Go. Okay, if I can have your attention, please. We have such awesome people in this room. You guys are just awesome. Seriously, you are.